Okay, let's solve a numerical problem which is involving all the ideas that we have covered in this particular session. So consider a composite rod that is shown on the right hand side figure. So we are having a stepped bar. It is having a collar at its bottom, and on the lower part, which is having smaller cross section, there is a weight of 80 newtons which is held at a distance of 100 millimeters above the collar, and this particular weight is released from this location, so it starts falling down. When it hits the collar, the entire stepped bar will be subjected to stress, and the problem wants us to find out what is the magnitude of stress when that happens. So let's solve this particular problem. For solving the problem, the material property, that is the modulus of elasticity, is required, and all the dimensions of the bar are given in this particular figure. So I'll quickly draw the figure. So we are having, so under the action of this load, this obviously the entire rod will elongate. So let's say the elongation of rod is because of the impact, this particular structure elongates, and the elongated position is given thus. So let's call the total elongation is delta. So the entire body elongates by delta. Let's call the upper part as B and lower part as A. So this total elongation of the bar will constitute the elongation of the upper part. So let's say the upper part gets elongated by delta A, and the lower part gets elongated by delta B. So the total delta will be summation of delta A plus delta B. So the basic equation is that the total energy after the weight has hit the body, the change in potential energy of the falling weight will be stored as the strain energy of the total body. So the change in potential energy of the body would be given as m, where the m is the mass of the falling body, g multiplied by its change in elevation. So change in elevation will be given as 100 millimeter, which is this value, plus delta, because it further falls down. It comes to rest when the total body has elongated by delta. So this gives us the change in potential energy. So this is change in potential energy of the body. So this is change in potential energy of the body, and this must be equal to the strain energy stored in part A, that is section A, and strain energy stored in part B. So UA plus UB is the total strain energy after the full deformation, must be equal to the change in potential energy that the weight has undergone. So we can write, so the mg value is directly given to us as 80 kilonewton. So this is given as 80 newtons, sorry, not kilonewton but newtons. So we have the left hand side as 80 multiplied by 100 plus delta. So here I'm putting force in newtons and the length dimensions in millimeter. So that will be followed uniformly everywhere. The strain energy of body A would be given as stress in body A divided by 2E multiplied by volume of A, plus similarly for second body, the stress in body B divided by 2E multiplied by volume of the second body. Now we know that there is a relation between sigma A and sigma B, that is stress in part A and part B. They are not independent, but they are related to the same force. Sigma A multiplied by area of part A is equal to sigma B multiplied by area of part B. That is because when the final extension has taken place, whatever is the equivalent force that gets generated because of the falling weight, so this is nothing but the P equivalent. So the force which is transmitted through the lower part A must be equal to the force which is transmitted to the part B. So the reaction will be equal to P equivalent again. So this is the first equation. So using this, we'll know that sigma A multiplied by pi by 4 into 16 square equal to sigma B into pi by 4 into 20 square. So this gives us the first expression, that sigma B equal to 0.64 times sigma A. So we got our first equation. The second equation we are having is that the total deformation is given as the summation of deformation of part A and part B. The elongation of part A will be given as strain in part A multiplied by length of part A, and strain in part B multiplied by length of part B. The strain can be written in terms of stress. So essentially what we are trying to do is we want to know what is the stress in the components. So everything we are trying to bring in terms of stress. So we'll convert the strain in part A in terms of stress as sigma A divided by E into LA plus stress in part B divided by E into LB. And we also know the equation, the relation between sigma and sigma B from equation number 1, which we'll utilize in this particular calculation. So if you substitute that, we will get the total deformation as, so I'm just writing that equation again so that you have the reference, into LA plus sigma B into E into LB. So here sigma A into LA value is given as 600 millimeters and E value is given as 200 GPa. So that is 200 into 10 to power 3 Newton per millimeter square. Sigma B we have calculated earlier as 0.64 times sigma A into LB is given as 700 divided by again 200 into 10 to power 3. So this entire delta can be written as 5.24 into 10 to power minus 3 times sigma A. So that is the value of delta we have got in this particular equation. Now we'll use our basic equation and substitute all the numbers into it. So our basic equation was given in the previous page. So the basic equation is as given by this expression, so which I'll be using next. So it is 80, that is the mg, multiplied by 100, the original height of the weight with respect to collar, plus delta. So delta is given as 5.24 into 10 to power minus 3 times sigma A. So this is equal to sigma A square divided by 2 times E. So it is 200 into 10 to power 3 multiplied by volume of part A. So that is pi by 4 into 16 square into length of part A, which is 600, plus sigma B square. So sigma B is nothing but 0.64 sigma A, the whole square, divided by 2 divided by 200 into 10 to power 3 multiplied by pi by 4 into 20 square into its length, that is 700. So if you simplify this, you will get 0.3016 sigma a square plus 0.2252 sigma a square. By arranging the terms, we'll get the equation 0.5268 sigma a square minus 0.4192 sigma a minus 8000 equal to 0. So the roots of this quadratic equation will give us the value of sigma a. So the roots of the sigma a would be given as, so this gives us the value of sigma a as 123.63 Newton per millimeter square, and sigma b would be given as 0.64 times sigma a, which is 79.12 Newton per mm square. So if you want to calculate the deformation, that also could be calculated, but this is a general process through which the impact related problems can be solved. So in impact related problems, you always have an energy term which is coming from the external part. So it can be the forging hammer which is falling down through a certain height, so that the change in potential energy of that particular hammer, or it could be the energy which is released through the combustion of the fuel in the case of IC engine. So when this energy is supplied to your component undergoes deformation and stores the energy in the form of strain energy. So if the entire energy is stored in that component, assuming no dissipation and no rebounding of the impacting body, in that case we can calculate using the expressions that we have solved. So bodies having complicated shapes, you can break them down into bodies of regular shape like we have done here, and then calculate individual strain energy terms, and then finally we can solve this to get the total stresses in the body. So before we close the session, I will just have a brief hint into the calculation for the course project that you will have to do. So in the course project, you have a section which deals with the, the strain energy calculations. So in your project, you are having a diving board. So the diving board is supported at one end, and there is a fulcrum which is provided at other end, and a person is jumping on it through certain height. So this h is given to you, and you want to know under these circumstances what would be the stresses in this in your diving board. So in this case, the diving board should not fail if the person of certain weight jumps from certain height. So in this case, again the basic equation remains same, that after the impact, the body, your diving board will have certain deformation. So the diving board will deform as given here. So there will be some deformation of the diving board which is delta, which is not known. So that is what we are trying to calculate. So the basic equation, if the mass of the person is m, so you have mg multiplied by h plus delta. So this is the potential energy, and that should be the u of your diving board. So under this deform condition, what is the energy of the diving board? That is what you are trying to find out. As we have seen in the very first slide of this discussion, the strain energy can be also written in terms of, so U can be written in terms of stress conditions for actually loaded parts, but it can be also written in terms of half K into x square, where means you can imagine this diving board. So this particular problem can be imagined to be a person which is jumping on a spring of certain stiffness K and certain height h. So under this deformation, the body undergoes a deformation x. So that is what we are considering. So in that case, the energy content in this particular spring is given by half kx square. So you can write this diving board as half kx square. So here x is nothing but the delta, so it will be half delta square. The question remains, how do you find what is the value of stiffness or K of this diving board? So for that purpose, you have to do the calculation for deformation of this particular simply supported beam. So your simply supported beam which is having overhang, and you apply a load P here. Using the Macaulay's theorem, you can calculate what is the deformation of this particular body. So you can calculate the delta P corresponding to the load P which is acting on this particular body. So this you can obtain by using the Macaulay's method. Once you have got that, the stiffness is nothing but the P divided by delta P. So you will get this delta P in terms of P. So the P term will get cancelled and you will get the value of K which is independent of P, and that value you can use in this particular equation. And then you know the left here the unknown is delta, so you'll get a quadratic in terms of delta which you have to solve. Once you know the deformation, then the load can be found out by using the stiffness equation, and once you know the load, you can calculate bending moment diagram and calculate the bending stresses. So that is how the project part of this problem needs to be dealt with. Let me sum up this session. So in this session, we have seen the energy-based methods, how they can be used to solve certain class of solid mechanics problems. Especially they are important, as we are seeing towards the end, for bodies which are subjected to impact load. So such problems can be handled very conveniently by using the energy-based approach. For applying this approach, we have initially seen some of the terms. So the strain energy is nothing but the energy which is stored in the body, which is equal to the work done by external force which are deforming that particular body. So we have seen how the strain energy term can be derived by calculating the work done by the external forces, and we have also seen the expressions for strain energy density, which is the strain energy per unit volume. So that gives a term which can be used very comfortably for deriving strain energy in a total component. Having seen that, in the last part we have seen how to handle the impact parts, the stresses in the components which are subjected to the impact loading. So in this case, the energy which comes from the impacting body, it can be kinetic energy or it could be potential energy, it or both of them. So both of these, if they are fully absorbed by the body, it will cause change in strain energy of the body, and by knowing the geometry and the stiffness of the body, we can calculate the expression for the strain energy, and that is how we have done the calculations which you can apply for the course project which you are doing in this particular course. I hope you are benefited from this particular session. If you are having any doubts, kindly do not hesitate to contact me, and we will meet again in the next session, and bye till then.